guys, welcome to Wi-Fi Matters. So there's this quote by Will Rogers, a famous actor from the early 1920s, that I think we should all know. It goes like this: too many people spend money they haven't earned on things they don't want to impress people they don't like. This quote is pertinent to all of us teenagers in America, as we alone spend around $155 billion a year on stuff, so we basically are like a big fat wallet. Sure, we may need some of these things, but do we really need to be the largest consumer demographic? Even worse, most of the money we spend and purchase, we're purchasing them on unnecessary items without even earning the money. And we use like gift money, gift cards, parents' money to purchase our extensive list of needs. Us teens are the perfect target for advertisers. We have disposable income in the sense we can use our parents' money. We influence what our parents buy, whether it be through where we eat, where we go on vacation, what stores to shop at. And also, we're at a very impressionable age, meaning advertisers can hook us onto a specific brand and then we'll be like brand loyalty to them into adulthood. For me, I'm susceptible to brand loyalty. Like, I'm very selective in the stores I shop at and what food we eat and like the shows we watch. First, I think it's important we differentiate needs versus wants. So most of us aren't really paying for needs: our home, our transportation, insurance, electricity, nutrition. Most of like what we pay is for wants, things we can live without, like entertainment, clothes, energy drinks, video games, and more. Now, I personally have been sucked into this world of teenage consumerism. I'm constantly asking for new clothes, movie tickets, vacations, treats. The question I ask myself is, why have I been sucked into this? The answer for myself, and I think all of us teens, is most definitely through forms of advertising. Whether it be a billboard, a commercial, your friends, the magazine you're reading, the ads that pop up on your screen, social influencers, YouTube, the list is practically endless. The consumer culture that us teens are a huge part of is fueled by the motivation of companies to annually grow their profit. And a method for them to accomplish this is through advertisement. Isn't it crazy that we see more than 3,000 ads per day? That's a phenomenally large number. So, just as we spend billions a year on stuff we want, it's important to know that advertisers and companies that promote advertising spend billions a year trying to get us to buy that stuff. Just think, the average price for a 30-second Super Bowl commercial, 30 seconds in 2019, was $5.2 million, but that reached like 80 million of people, including us teens. We all need to become media literate. So advertisers make money selling us stuff we do not need. I repeat, we do not need. The moment you are vulnerable is the moment the advertisers are living for. They want to exploit our weaknesses. They want to promote fear, jealousy, embarrassment, or happiness, or have your favorite celebrity be the brand's ambassador. So did you know that you leave a trail, a digital trail, on the internet? If you're looking at shoes, you might be on a completely different website about like food or cooking. And you can get an ad for like Nike, creating an everlasting, continuing cycle. Something I think we should all be aware about are cool hunters. Now, this name might actually sound very cool, but what they do is pretty uncool for our pockets and well-being. They basically work for advertising companies to hunt down what is cool or trendy by going to high schools, having popular kids fill out surveys, following them on Instagram, and so much more. Now, these cool hunters work with the merchants of cool and report back to them. These people are like advertisers and like psychologists. They basically work together to form a cult against us. Just kidding. So I saw this documentary called The Merchant of Cool. I watched it with my parents, but there were like a lot of scenes that were a little outdated and highly inappropriate. But they do go into more depth about the cool hunters, so I think if it interests you, you can watch it. But make sure, like, fair warning, it is a bit weird, and make sure you watch it with your parents. So now, don't get me wrong, it's very, very hard to break this cycle. And it's hard to give up some of our wants. But ask yourself, why am I buying this? Did I decide to because I independently wanted to? Or through some way did the advertiser decide for me? So, some solutions to, I guess, mitigate, like, lower the issue, this everlasting cycle. Well, I'd first consider how the money you spend today will affect your future self. Like, what if you in 2 weeks from now can better use this money? Or how will you in your college life be if you purchase this item today? Think about it this way. You're essentially borrowing money from a future version of yourself. So this is a common mistake many child stars make. Like, they find fame really, really early on and they get so much money and they spend all of it, and then they're penniless in the future and they're like, what happened? So, like, for me personally, I can get really hungry even if lunch isn't an hour away. I sometimes make the choice to buy a drink or get an energy bar from my cafeteria. But then sometimes I think to myself, how about I save this money for pretzel day tomorrow instead and wait for lunchtime? So, another thing that us teens I think we should do is pause for a second before we make a purchase and think to ourselves, will I even touch this in the future? I cannot say how often I fall into the trap of buying something that's really trendy or in the moment looks super appealing and never even touching it, and in some cases forgetting about it in the future. This reminds me of my dog and his chew toys. My mom bought him like a packet of 12 chew toys, and he was so excited for maybe the first couple of hours. Then a day later, he was like, whatever, I'm just going to go chew on the shoes instead. So overall, I think that by being aware about the internet and the intent of the advertisements and acknowledging the stuff we buy is not necessary for our survival and safety is key to breaking free from this cycle. So there's the Academy of American Pediatricians put out this release statement, basically talking about the effects of advertising on us teens. And they said that the way to mitigate and, like I said, help this problem is by practicing media literacy. So it's the act of not getting sucked into the advertisements and simply observing them. We can better break free from this cycle if we do this. We will be able to better spend our money towards our own interests and use it to what we value as individual people. We won't be peer pressured. We won't be buying stuff that may be harmful for us. So look at it this way. Every purchase you make is like a business deal. The advertisements are in their best interest, even if they say it will make you feel better, look better, be cooler. And your part is to make sure that the value in what you're buying is greater than the cost and that you individually are buying the product. I think us teens should try to buy nothing for every 3 months. Like, for a day, we do not buy everything every 3 months. Then let's try a day every month we don't buy anything. Then we should try it every week. So designate a day every week where we do not spend a single dollar. This is going to be extremely hard. I cannot imagine a day without spending money in one way or another. Like, on a sick day, when I'm literally doing nothing in my bed, sitting there, I'll find a way to spend money. Either I'll buy a movie for $3.99 or I might buy some clothes online. Who knows? It's really important for us to stop buying, I think. So it will be a really, really, really cool challenge. It's going to be hard, but I think since it's so hard for us to stop doing it, we have to be able to try to do it at least a couple times. It's going to be a good challenge for us. Also, I think it's really important for us teens to take breaks from social media. So I personally do a lot of these breaks just because I don't want to be on my phone like the whole day. But now I realize that I can also do myself justice by limiting my exposure to different sorts of advertisements. Like, on Snapchat, there are filters for brands and stuff. On Instagram, you're like social influencers. They're like selling you a product or they're putting a product on their face and then you're like, oh, maybe I should try it. Something like that. So the catch towards taking breaks might be like I'm avoiding the problem or like we're trying to push away from the problem. But no, just think of it as a mini break, knowing and fully acknowledging that when you go back on your social media again, sure, there's going to be ads, but we will be better trained to cope with them. So all in all, I hope you guys learned something from today's episode. So although the ads come at you without consent, you essentially have the power to choose what you want to buy. And the strongest message you can send to these advertising companies is to choose what you buy. For example, if you want to wear only ethical clothes, environmentally safe products, or only products made in the US, or you want to thrift, this is the message you will be sending to the companies. It's so important to understand and acknowledge the extent the advertising companies take to make you buy products. They take away individuality and independent thinking, so we need to become the ones in charge of swiping the credit card. In this sense, us teens can influence the future of advertising. I can't wait to see you back next time. Thanks for listening.